everybody, Miss Martinez here. This video is dedicated to all the flutes and your beginning suffering on trying to make sound and change your fingers on the flute. So just so you know, it is completely normal for flute players to not make sound for an entire month to 2 months. And all of a sudden, it's just gonna click one day. So just know that as you guys are practicing, it's gonna take a lot of time. You should be playing your instrument every single day to get your lips used to your instrument. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our head joint on the flute and we're gonna do a couple different exercises. First thing is when you have the flute against your lips, you're gonna close your mouth and roll the flute down. Now, as a beginner, you might wanna push the flute a little bit into the indent of your chin and your lip. And also an important note, on my lips it works like this, but depending on if your lips are a little bit bigger, it might not. The bottom line of the flute head joint right here lines up with the bottom line of my lip. So when I roll it down, I can feel it right there. Now, for some people that have a little bit bigger lips, it might be on your bottom lip a little bit. So just be aware of that, and you have to play around with it a little bit. When you're playing your instrument, you need to imagine you're blowing out a candle softly. Our air is going across and slightly down, but we don't want to aim down into the hole. So if you've ever practiced blowing on a glass bottle, it's the same effect. So we're going to do that with this. So this is without tonguing first. So I'm going to do this again. Some of you guys might be achieving different sound. I'm going to mimic that here. Now, if you're achieving that sound on your flute, it's because instead of making a circle with your lips, you went flat with your lips. So it was too flat of a line to make the air shoot across. Also, you might need to roll the flute in or out a teeny bit depending on your lips. So I'm going to adjust it to me. If you don't like the high-pitched sound, put your hand at the bottom, and your goal is to get a clear sound and a consistent sound on this head joint. So take a deep breath from your tummy. Once you are able to get that sound, you can now move on to the next step. Or if you're somewhat able to get that sound, start working on your fingerings, because your music teacher probably wants to keep moving on. Just know that you're going to have to practice a lot on it, and it'll come along. Don't worry, it will happen. But in the meantime, we are going to practice our fingerings. So I'm going to put up the fingerings here for each note that I'm doing. And our goal is to not get behind with our band class. We want to make sure that we at least know our fingerings, and eventually we'll get the sound from the head joint. So I'm going to refer to my top hand. It's my left hand. Okay, if I'm mirrored for you, unmirror me. And my bottom hand is my right hand. Remember, the flute goes towards your right shoulder. Now, very important, keep your head straight and bring the flute to you. A lot of my beginners do this. If you're doing that, your neck is twisted and your air can't travel as easily. So you need to look forward and just practice bringing the flute to you. Lift this elbow arm and bring it to you. Next thing. So my flute has holes in it, so I'm going to refer to that. I highly suggest you put stickers or electrical tape on your instrument. Just make sure that they don't damage it. My students are using electrical tape. It's perfect. It peels off easy, and it's nice and bright, like black, yellow, blue, and they can see exactly where their fingers go. Okay, so we're going to start on the note F. So the note F uses the 3 fingers of the left hand and the thumb. Now, this key here is a nice guide. We're not using it, but it's a nice guide to remember where your third finger needs to be. Okay, so third finger is right next to this key. Second finger is there, and first finger, there should be 2 keys next to it that are not touched. Now, on the bottom, we're going to put our first finger down and our pinky. We should have 2 keys that are not pressed, and we should be able to wave with these fingers and this pinky. Those are the only keys not pressed. So I want you to practice that, and then we're going to try playing it. Now, there's also a low F with that fingering, so if your air's a little soft there, it might sound like this. Now, if you're blowing too fast of air, as in cold air, like you're trying to make cold air on your body, it might get some overtones, which are much more advanced, but we don't want to get those notes. So I'm just going to give you an example of what they might be. We don't want those notes, so if you're doing that, blow a little bit less, and we need a balance to this note. Okay, so that is our finger. Now we're going to change from F to E. I always like to put my flute on my left shoulder so I can see the fingers in front of me. That's a great thing that you should do. Okay, so we're on F. To get to the note E flat, we're going to put these two fingers we're waving with down, and we're going to put this pointer finger up. So the only two fingers that aren't using anything are these two on the left hand. So let's go ahead and play E flat. Okay, that's E flat. So now we're going to change back to F. So here's E flat. There's F. Play F. Go back to E flat. Okay, next note is D. I love D because from E flat to D, all you have to do is pop that little pinky up. So you should have two fingers in the air. And that's all you have to do for D. So let's go ahead and play that. So that's the note D. Let's go back to E flat. Let's go back to the note F. All right, we've done 3 notes now. Now we're going to go back to D. There's D. Now notice these two fingers in the air. Those are the only two fingers we're going to do as we go to the letter C. So you're going to put down your pointer finger and your pinky, and you're going to lift every single finger, including the thumb. C is the only note on the flute in the beginning phases that you do not use your thumb for. Until you get into the really, really high notes, you don't use your thumb, but basically every single note you use your thumb, except C. So we have only our pointer finger and only our pinky. Every other finger is off. Let's go ahead and play C. So you might notice our sound is going a little lower. Now we're going to jump to our note B flat before we go back to D, and then we're going to practice going through all the notes. So from C, we're going to go to the note B flat. So I'm going to add my thumb at the bottom. Okay, there's a key down there. And I'm going to put my pointer finger down on my right hand. Okay, so first thumb, first pinky. There's also a high B flat with that fingering, so you might hear, just so you know, there's 2 notes there. This is our B flat, and now we're going to work our way up to the note F and down. So I want you to do that with me. Here is B flat. Let's go ahead and change to C. Lift the thumb, lift the pointer finger. That's the note C. Now every finger that's in the air right now, except this pinky, we're going to put down. So 3 fingers here, 2 fingers here, and the thumb, and then you're going to lift the pointer and the pinky. Okay, there's D. Now we're going to add E flat, just this this pinky. Then we're going to go to F. You're going to put down this pointer finger, and you're going to wave with these 2. Now this pinky is always in the air forever. Okay, so there's F. Now we're going to do it all the way back down. So here's F. Here's E flat. Here's E flat to D. Here's D to C. Okay, we're going to use those, put them down, and lift everything and the thumb up. And lastly, C to B flat. Thumb, first finger. Now, it's really great to practice with the metronome all the time. So I'm going to get my metronome, and I'm going to put it at a very slow beat. And by slow, I mean 60 beats a minute. So I'm going to allow myself 4 seconds to change from each fingering. So I'm going to start the note F, 3 fingers at the top, thumb, first finger and pinky. And I'm going to play it for 4 beats. Ready, breathe. Change your fingers. Ready, E flat. Change your fingers to D. Ready, go. Change to C. Ready, go. Change to B flat, add the thumb, first finger, ready, go. Now, I'm going to keep that order going, except instead of 4 beats, I'm only going to allow 3 beats in between. So, starting on F, here I go. Ready, breathe. We're going to do only 2 beats in between. Starting on F again. Here we go. Ready, breathe. Up somewhere there. Now we're only allowing 1 beat in between, which we're going to breathe. So start on F. Ready, breathe. Next thing we're going to do is all the notes going in order. So we're going to change it. Instead of going for 4 beats, we're only going to play each one for 2 beats. Okay, so starting on F. Ready, breathe. Off. Now we're going to try to play each note for 1 beat. Ready. And that's it. So if you were able to do that with me, good job. If you are still sounding fuzzy or airy, that is totally okay. As long as you keep practicing and you get these fingers down, then you'll be able to make more sound on the flute. So I hope that's helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know or let your music teachers know, and keep on practicing.